Hello and welcome back to another edition of CommLink Reacts. I'm Stubb, and as always, I'm joined by the one and only Sylvius. How you doing, man?
Pretty good, man. Ready to check out these hangar updates.
Yeah, 324 still on the horizon, and this week's ISC, featuring Hangars and Freight. We've got Jared pulled up there, ready to tell us all the good news. 324 is hitting live servers next week, right?
It's on the horizon somewhere.
I think that's going to be revealed by the end of this video as we do Jared's favorite thing and react to some Star Citizen content. Ready to jump into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alpha 324 is currently in testing, awaiting its release to hungry players like you. And while ISC is moving onward to covering the ongoing development of the upcoming Alpha 4.0 after that, we thought we'd take one last chance to check in with the cargo guru himself, Chad McKinney, and get one last look at how personal persistent hangars, freight elevators, and cargo loading is working. This is Inside Star Citizen, Alpha 324, Hangars and Freight. Let's go.
The first thing, obviously, you spawn into the hub. You can go out into the main section down at the bottom, depending on the station that you're in. Meet up with your friends. Make sure you're
the weights
in a
at,
party
Chad?
together.
I guess have friends.
You have lots of options
That
available
play Star
to
Citizen?
You can either go to an item bank if you want to grab some smaller items, which there are numerous throughout the station, including actually in the hub that you were just in. The item bank is used to allow players to get smaller items, mainly like FPS style items, without having to go all the way down to a hangar to use the freight elevator kiosk to pull it up from the freight elevator.
Thank God.
That's especially
I'm
useful
pretty excited
for
for
things
this.
like handguns or undersuits and armor, metapins, food, stuff that you just want to quickly get on your person, and you don't have to wait for like a huge platform to come up in order to grab it.
Yeah, I was worried for like
The
armor and
inventory that the
everything.
item bank accesses is the same location.
You were gonna have to like pull a
inventory
box
that the
out
freight
for it.
elevator accesses. So in fact, you can do things like
Yeah, this will help
put
keep
something
it pretty
into your
streamlined.
location inventory via the item bank, and then later on decide you want to get it back while you're in your hangar. And you can do that via the freight elevator kiosk
Yeah, I thought it was going to be that.
or any of the other item banks that are in the hangars.
And while you and your group members are certainly welcome in your new personal persistent hangar, questions still abound about what happens when an unwelcome guest sneaks in.
Kill him.
If someone gets into
That's
your
right.
hangar, there is a trespassing timer that will start ticking. After like 30 seconds or so, they're going to get automatically kicked out.
I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. They're just going to teleport away and go to prison? Is that what's going to happen? Or go back to Habs or whatever, but they're just going to blip?
Yeah, that's a little odd. I would assume they would get like just a trespassing charge, like you would on like getting onto someone's ship.
Yeah. But it said that they would teleport them out,
Yeah, so
which is, I don't know about that. My
Yeah.
immersion, right?
yeah. I mean, it definitely helps reduce potential for griefing, but it also cuts into. I mean, you can consider that like a valid form of gameplay, like sneaking onto people's ships and stuff.
Yeah, sneaky. And this isn't actually a deal breaker for me or anything, but it does seem a little weird. Like their answer for people sneaking into your hab is, I don't know, we'll teleport them away after like 30 seconds. It's fine. Which I don't know what else you do while NPCs are brain dead, right? So because in a perfect world where server performance is great and everything, it would be cool if, I don't know, a security team of NPCs entered the hangar and like took on the trespasser, right? Tried to arrest them, and if they resist, then bring them down.
Yeah, imagine NPCs being able to do security for you.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, let's keep it rolling here.
In addition, we have changed the rules in the hangar to make it allow the same kind of like non-armistice zone behavior that the ships do. So we are modifying it to where you can shoot people that even trespass inside your hangar and not get a infraction for it.
As long as you see them
Your home
before they
location, it will
teleport
be
away.
your personal hangar.
Yeah.
But if you go to a different place in the verse, then that hangar that was given to you is what we call a public hangar. But you're still the person that like has authority over it. So while you do, you have the same kind of rights.
I like that part about
these
it.
new hangars are
Yeah,
your
that
first
is cool.
home ownership in the verse, with not only the ability to defend yourself against intruders without getting a crime stat, but also your first abilities to customize and decorate your space as you see fit.
The personal hangars are kind of the first real ownership in the world for the players. We've had ownership with the ships, which is great. You've been able to keep things inside them for some time now.
So they randomly blow
kind of
up.
Customize it that way. But this is the first kind of like home, the first place in the world that actually is yours. And it's allow you to store furniture. You can store boxes, cargo, if you want to stockpile and be kind of clever with trading. Anything that, any flair, anything that you want that will help make it feel like home. But it's not the end. We have lots of plans for the future. You've seen things with all the base building updates, and also we've talked in the past about things like persistent habs, etc. So there's more that's going to be coming along this vein, but the personal habs are the first big step of ownership in the world for players.
With armistice zones now removed from hangars, Persistence allows players to now set their most used items out for easy access before any launch. You can display your firearms, ship items, and more however you'd like. And in future releases beyond Alpha 324, this will include
Mine is
display
going to be
cases
such a mess.
for armor as well.
Yeah, it'll be cool just being able to
Basically,
leave
almost
whatever.
anything in your inventory, you'll be able to pull up via either the item bank or the freight elevator, and then you can directly leave them around in your hangar. Now, you do have to be careful about, like, if you want to call up a ship, leaving things on the platform may block it, so that could cause issues. However, we did expand the size of the hangars in order to give you more space in there to do exactly this. So we want to make it both easier experience to get in and out of some of these hangars, as well as give you more space in order to decorate it and make it feel like your own place. In addition to all that, another change that we've made is we've reclassified many ships in the game that were previously attributed to small hangars now to the medium-sized hangars, so that they are a more comfortable fit as far as landing. And then in addition to that, also to make it more reasonable for maybe the amount of cargo or the items that you're moving in.
Yeah, parking the Spirit sucks right now.
The physicalizing of most items and the addition of freight elevators and new kiosks in Alpha 324 to work with them not only in your hangar but at mission locations throughout the verse means a fundamental shift in the manner and time it takes to load and offload your ship or vehicle.
For both manual and automatic loading, you're going to be doing something at the moment that's going to be some kind of commodity transfer.
That increased
Whenever you go to
vulnerability
the
for
commodity
piracy.
terminal to do a transaction, you're presented with two different options. You can either deliver directly into your location inventory or pick a ship from a list that's at that location and have it automatically packed into that ship for you. If you decide to deliver it into the location inventory, you'll buy it. There's no restriction on what you buy. It'll just go directly into it. As long as you have capacity in the inventory and the money to pay for it, you can do it. At that point, it's up to you if you've bought it to get it onto your ship or to move it to wherever, or just sit on it. So you can just like hang out, wait until the prices look good, and then later
Imagine
on
blowing up
decide
your
to
own
move
ship
it
with cargo
to
containers.
a different
Yeah,
location.
imagine. Could never happen to
From
me.
there, if you decided to manually load it, you can load it onto the ship, call ATC, go to a different location in the game, land at a different location, go
See
into
the big baddies?
spaceport,
Yeah.
and then access the same commodity terminal there, look at the prices, and make a determination about whether you want to sell anything on your ship. At that point, you can make what we call like a sell order. And this is basically like a declaration, kind of like a contract that says like, I will deliver these goods and you will give me this payment for it. When you've done that, at that point, you can go back to your hangar, move the goods off of the ship onto the freight elevator platform, use the freight elevator kiosk to put it down into the location inventory, you get a little screen that pops up that tells you, here's the sell order that you had, here's the price that we agreed to, you've now delivered everything, check, and then you get the payment that's delivered.
Why not just let us sell from the
is actually to remove
elevator
a round trip. So this gives a way for players to kind of like skip a step in the flow and help make things a little bit more
that is a little
smooth.
strange.
On the flip side, if you just want to deliver it into your location inventory at the new location, you can do it like that as well. And then once you're inside the spaceport, sell it from the location inventory instead, or just sit on it until another point in time.
I like the UI of these screens.
Yeah, I was about to say that does look really good.
Whenever you go to buy the goods, the ship needs to be stowed at that location. At that point, the ship will be locked down, so you can't call it to fly it off while the loading's in process. You also have to pay a little bit more in order to fund the movement by the local services in order to actually move the cargo onto your ship for you.
How much more?
Once the timer has run out, you go down to the ASOP terminal. You can spawn your ship or retrieve the ship from the ASOP terminal, get in the ship. All the boxes should be there. And you can fly off to another place and then do the inverse at a different location. The other thing is that you can mix and match these. So you can decide to manually load the boxes from your location inventory onto your ship, but then automatically unload them or vice versa. It's really up to you about how you want to do it. Like maybe you decide that you don't mind unpacking it because maybe it's a little bit easier once everything's already in there. Or you can decide that for certain sizes of shipments, like for a few small boxes, you don't mind moving it, but maybe for like a really big load in a C2 where there's like a lot of things going
big
on,
load.
You'd rather just kind of, use the automatic loading service.
We're going to be dropping so many loads in 324, baby.
All of them.
Hope everybody's ready.
Now,
yeah.
What we went out with before
Nothing but
wasn't really
loads.
our intended behavior. Because what was missing was some granularity in the loading time determination based on the box size. It was always the plan, we just weren't able to get to it yet. So I know that there was some feedback that some of the loading times seemed to not make sense. This is the reason. The reason is that we didn't have the granularity in the system to scale the loading times based on the box size. And what that really means is that for smaller boxes per SEU, you're gonna spend more time on smaller boxes. So if you have, let's say, a ship and you fill it up with 600 SEU, if those are like 1 SEU boxes, that's going to take a long time because that's a lot of boxes to move.
Yeah,
but
that
if
makes
we're talking
sense.
32 SEU boxes, that's a much more efficient moving pattern that has to be done by the loading services. So that's going to be quicker to load. And that'll help us tune the system to make sure that we're not overly punishing people with these incredible loading times. But we still want it to, be a reasonable amount of time for the higher loads for us to be able to tune the economy in a reasonable way. And also to make sure that manual loading is something that there is an incentive to do.
Yeah,
Of
you want to be able to
course,
save
with these
time
new
and money
kiosks and new
doing it
ways
by
to
yourself.
access your inventory, for those of you who have been building your possessions year after year, one question was destined to rise above all others.
Search is another one of these things that we always wanted to do. Now that
Yeah,
we've
baby,
been
search!
longer in development, trying to close out and finish off some of the bigger bugs, which has mainly been hangar instancing related. We've also taken the opportunity to work on the quality of life improvement that we wanted to get in particular, which is search functionality in the freight elevator kiosk and the item bank. Now, this is going to be the first step. Where we're starting is it's going to be a name-based search on the items, but it won't, for example, search on description names or like color, things like that. And it will be a fuzzy search, which means that you will be able to search for substrings of names. So you can, for example, have helmet, and that'll actually pick up a lot of different items which actually have the word helmet in the name. Or you can look up helm and still get most of those same or all the same results, but maybe a few other things which also include that. So I'm really excited about it. This is something that I remember talking about implementing search forever ago when we first originally introduced the inventory and then also the player asset manager knickknacks. It's something that we needed backend support for to do properly in order for it to not overburden the backend. But we actually got support from the backend team, which did a great job getting this in for us. So
That's crazy to me. And again, as somebody that is definitely not a game dev, It's crazy to me to think that a search function would be so back end intensive. You know what I mean? That would have been an issue previously in time.
Yeah, there's some weird things that will affect the back end. Like if you remember not too long ago, they took away the character reset.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was these people that had all of these entities tied to their account. And when they would, like, a bunch of people would start resetting their account at the same time, like if, servers were performing bad or whatever, and then people are like, oh, it's probably my account. So they go reset all their stuff, and it bogs down the back end because it's trying to keep up with like all the items and stuff that they own as it's
restoring them to the account.
Yeah. So it was screwing it up that way. Search stuff being related to the back end, you wouldn't think it would be, but basic game functions are harder than it might seem.
Yeah, because when I think of it, I think of like, okay, you're, I don't know, reading an article or whatever, and you're looking for a term, you just Control F, right? Type in the word you're looking for, and it'll show you exactly where it is, with no crazy strain on your PC or whatever. But yeah, I guess it works differently in video games.
Yeah, especially if you search helmet and there's 300 helmets in your inventory, I guess that has to sort through a lot of stuff.
Yeah. All right, let's finish this one up here.
So I think this will be a really good feature for the players, and hopefully that makes them feel a little bit better about waiting a little bit longer on the patch.
We're still waiting.
All in all, the upcoming changes to cargo and the combination of physicalized inventory
Nothing
with
to do
personal
but wait.
precision hangars means the upcoming Alpha 324 is the next major step forward towards players owning a place in the verse and configuring it however they'd like. And what else did we learn this week? The armistice zones are being removed from player hangars, which will finally let you load up those gun racks on your ships. That the law system will let you stand your ground when someone invariably tries to sneak in and steal all of your stuff. And that storage access kiosks are for long-term storage. And that decorating your hangar with all of your items is the next step in eventually letting you grab your kit and go without the need for those inventory screens at all. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us share the people and process of game development with you, and we'll see you all here next week.
Thank you, Jared.
All right.
Post-credit scene?
Nah, I checked earlier. There's not.
Bring them back. I miss those.
I did enjoy those.
I'm sure they'll do it for something else at some point in time.
Yeah, they're probably busy ramping up for 4.0 and everything.
I certainly hope you're right.
Yeah, I hope I'm right too.
Oh man, but no, this was a cool Inside Star Citizen. 324 is still cooking away in Evocati. So it's not like it's completely behind closed doors. Some players are playing 324. It's just a matter of getting it from Evo into PTU, and then from PTU eventually to the live servers. So it's going to take some more time, but it is on the way. 4.0, obviously that could be quite a distance off, but I feel like with 324, we're probably a matter of, a few weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe from PTU at the very least, if not live servers.
Oh yeah. I say it's the 26th on a Friday as of recording. And I say, 2 weeks max for it to hit PTU. Hopefully next week though, but I'm really excited for this patch, and that IC was good. I was under the impression that, so when you go up to those little screens to get your gear, I thought you were going to be like, oh, I need a helmet. It spits out the helmet box. Oh, I need an undersuit. It spits out the undersuit box. And then you have to go through the process of putting all that on. But I'm glad they're still leaving the paper doll type, just drag and drop from the inventory screen. That is a big relief for me, because I thought that was going to make it super tedious.
Yeah, exactly. I was super tedious, exactly the phrase I had on my mind too. So yeah, that checks out. Again, it's not a big deal to me, but the teleporting a trespasser away, just blipping them off into oblivion somewhere else in the game. Still, it seems weird, but whatever. Also, it's still alpha, so that system can change over time too. You know what I mean? Like with pretty much everything in Star Citizen.
Yeah, it's weird that they did both measures to be able to protect yourself. Like they remove the armistice zone and make the people blip away. It feels like if they were like, oh, well, we can't remove the armistice zone right now, so we're just going to make people disappear for right now. That would make more sense to me. But since
it's a temporary measure.
Yeah, but since they allow you to be able to protect yourself now, like why even bother with that?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I'm not sure. And maybe that's also like maybe, okay, say once 4.0 comes around and we have both Stanton and Pyro, that's just maybe a Stanton thing, right? When you're in illegal or law enforced area. But maybe a Hangar and Pyro won't have that same feature. I don't know if it will or not, but just kind of speculating there. Where in Pyro you do have to fight them off, right? You can't just hope and pray that they don't get you or fly off with your ship or whatever within 30 seconds. Like, no, if somebody's in there with you, good luck.
Yeah. You got to deal with it yourself. Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see how that plays out in Pyro, but yeah, on the whole, man, 324. I am getting more and more excited about it. The closer we get to it. So I think knock on wood, it's going to be a good patch as long as it doesn't come in broken on live. All of these features they've been talking about are sounding really, really cool for the most part.
Yeah, I cannot wait to get my hands on it, and hopefully soon.
TM. All right, I think that's going to do it for this React, unless you had anything else, Silvius.
That's it. Take us out of here.
All right. Thanks as always for checking out CommLink Reacts. We really enjoy doing these, both with newer Star Citizen content and then also some of the older videos from their archives on YouTube. If you enjoyed this, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you get notifications for new Reacts going up. We also do the CommLink Podcast, of course, which is where we discuss pretty much everything Star Citizen Squadron 42. That's available both on Spotify and YouTube. And we also have the CommLink Alert as well, where major articles published by Cloud Imperium Games are read for those who would rather hear it than read it. So things like a roadmap roundup, a letter from the chairman, a ship Q&A. The monthly reports are also read aloud on the CommLink Alert for those who would be into that sort of thing. And also shout out to the winner of our NERSA with LTI giveaway. I'll go ahead and give a shout out here. Let me get that name pulled up. But yes, so that was our second giveaway. We've got another one. We're not quite saying what the next giveaway is yet, but stay on the lookout for an announcement for that coming up very soon. But our most recent one at Rev Variable on Twitter/X was the winner for the NERSA with LTI. So GG's. Thanks to everybody who participated in that giveaway. And like I said, within the next week or two, we'll have another one announced for you. So Silvius, thanks as always for hanging out and doing this React today, man. This was fun.
Yeah, thanks, Stubb.
We've got more on the way coming soon. Take care, everybody.
See ya.